Hi, welcome to Raga Made. I am your host YJ Arun House. This is Chapter 3, Part B. We have already learned how Shuddha Swaras or pure tones are derived using the principle the smallest number as a fraction gives the most harmonious sound. That is, 3 by 2 is more harmonious than 4 by 3, 4 by 3 is more harmonious than 5 by 4, 5 by 4 is more harmonious than 5 by 3, 5 by 3 is more harmonious than 6 by 5, and so on. Now we call this principle simple is elegant principle. Now we will look at a harmonic series, a more important principle that divides an octave into many notes. The harmonic series of a sound goes like this. Say if we make a sound, a note of 100 hertz. By the way, hertz or HZ is a unit for frequency. Don't panic hearing this. Hertz only means beats per second, just like beats per minute we use for tempo. So if a string vibrates 100 times per second, we say its frequency is 100 hertz. For the purpose of easy calculation, let's take 100 hertz as a sample note as our starting tonic note. When we sound that 100 hertz note on a string or an air column or in your vocal cords, it is also producing overtones above that, even though we cannot hear it, because the 100 hertz will be the strongest. The second strongest will be 200 hertz, and the third will be 300 hertz. And then the fourth is 400, and it goes on like that. 500, 600, 700. All these frequencies are inherent in the original 100 hertz sound that you produced. The geometric sequence of 100 hertz is, as you know, 100 into 2, into 2, into 2, into 2, till infinity, which is nothing but 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, 3200, 6400, 12800. It goes on like that. And all these multiples that I just said are exactly the octave of the starting note 100. That is, 2 is the first octave, 400 is the second octave, 800 is the third octave, 1600 is the fourth octave, 3200 is the fifth octave, and so on. Between 100 hertz and 200 hertz, there are no partials. Whereas in 200 octave and 400 octave, there is one partial called 300. So the 300 hertz can be written as 300 divided by 200 hertz is 3 by 2. We already saw that 3 by 2 is 702 cents, or the perfect fifth. In the octave between 400 hertz and 800 hertz, there is 500 divided by 400, which is 5 by 4. We already saw it's 386. There is 600 by 800, which is 6 by 4. That is again 3 by 2. We already saw. There is 700 divided by 400, which is 7 by 4, which is 969 cents, and so on. Between 800 and 1600, that is the fourth octave, there are some more partials that are useful and fits perfectly into our scale of 12 notes, where these 12 notes should be as far as possible, as close to equal as possible. Here I must say that while deriving suitable frequencies as a musical pitch within a scale, any fractions that has 7 or multiples of 7 either in the numerator or in the denominator is totally discarded. As you can see, 700 divided by 400 gives you 74. On the logarithmic table, 74 gives you 969 cents. First of all, this is not close to, multiples of 100. And on top of that, it gives a kind of a discordant sound. This is most evident in a horn player. When a horn makes this sound, it literally hears like passing wind. So it's obvious that why in India all septimal tones, that is, all septimal fractions, are discarded. Moving on, in the next octave, that is between 800 hertz and 1600 hertz, we get two more pure tones, that is 9 by 8 and 15 by 8, which are usable. We also get the previous ones like 3 by 2 and 5 by 4 repeated. That is the perfect fifth and the major third getting repeated. And 9 by 8, we can see that from the table, it is the major second, or Re. And 15 by 8 is the major seventh, or ni. The other fractions like 11 by 8 and 13 by 8, which are marked and highlighted in yellow, are not useful for us because it falls too close or halfway between two semitones or quarter tones, they are called. I'm told that in Arabic music they use all these quarter tones. I am not well versed in Arabic music, so if you know Arabic music and you know if these pitches are used, please say that in the comment. So far, we got 5 pure tones, which have the strongest association with the root note 100 Hz. They are sa, ri, ga, pa, ni, sa. Incidentally, there is a pentatonic scale called Hamsadhvani in Carnatic, which uses exactly these 7 notes, and they sound beautiful. The songs composed in this particular pentatonic sounds extremely sweet. In the wise naming system, Hamsadhvani is nothing but Shankar Shankar minus 46. That is, fourth and the sixth are missing from the major tones, major scale. In the next octave of 1600 Hz to 3200 Hz, we get all the above, all the already mentioned tones, plus 906 cents, which is like not a pure tone. It is called a pi tone or a Pythagorean major sixth, which is acceptable in music. So in this octave, we also have two more tones having fractions 25 by 16 and 29 by 16. So which are 772 cents and 1030 cents. Now 772 cents, I have mentioned that it is a minor sixth, but with a star to differentiate it from pure tones. And 1030 cents is a major seventh, but it's higher than the major seventh. So I have segregated it with an upward arrow by the side of it. And by the way, the 906 cents, which is the pi major sixth, is also denoted differently from the pure tones with a kind of a wave by the letter D. D for dha, not D for not the alphanumeric D, which is the second, but this is the sixth or dha. We will address the Pythagorean tones in the next chapter. Not next chapter, next section of this chapter. And of course, the other two symbols that you see with the star and the upward arrow, we shall discuss in the following section of chapter 3. They are all used in Carnatic music. They are called microtones. There is only one more useful tone that is different from the previous ones that comes in the next octave, that is from 3200 Hz to 6400 Hz, that is 45 by 32, which gives 590 cents on a logarithmic scale, and that is our tritone or the Pradimadhyama in Carnatic music or Tivra Madhyam in Hindustani music. So we see that as the fractions become more distant, the harmoniousness of that note in relation to the tonic become more distant also. You may wonder, the perfect fourth or 4 by 3 ratio should have been very harmonically relevant in a scale, but it is not so. That is why I guess in the most ancient scales of the world, you only hear pentatonics, that pentatonic scale that involves these first 5 notes, that is sa, ri, ga, pa, dha, sa, and sa, ri, ga, pa, ni, sa. Ma or perfect fourth was incorporated into the world music much later, and it works because it follows the principle of simple is elegant fraction principle. In this slide, we see how the world derived the first pentatonic scale or the major pentatonic scale, what we call Shankar Shankar minus 47, that is no perfect fourth or major seventh. The pitches highlighted in yellow are the major scales, that is Sa 0, Pa 702 cents, Ga 386 cents, Ri 204 cents, and Dha 906 cents. Whereas you should by now know that Dha is not a pure tone, it's a pi tone. The pure tone major 6 ratio is 5 by 3, which gives 884 cents, whereas the pi tone Dha is pi tone major 6 is 906 cents, and the ratio is 27 by 16. Which is more apt? It depends. When you're going from pa to dha, that is fifth to sixth, the pi tone perfectly fits because it gives the most harmonious major second chord, 204 cents. 702 plus 204 gives us 906. Whereas if you are going from the tonic, a sixth interval up to dha, then probably you tend to stick to 884 cents, which is the ratio is 5/3. So both pure tone and pi tone are applicable depending on the situation. This gives us a good segue into finding out how pi tones are derived. We will discuss that in the next section. Meanwhile, if you're enjoying this lesson, please subscribe to it and share it with your like minded friends. And also click the like button so that it'll help promote this channel. Thank you and see you in the next section.